Yo, what's good, my people? If you're just tuning in, this is my official podcast. It's called The Geek Realm with Hoes. Oh crap! Oh my gosh! Oh, what the? Damn! Oof, that was some powerful stuff. This is my podcast where I talk about stuff that I want to talk about. That sometimes I just want to let loose and have a conversation. But still post videos about it. If that makes any sense. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you've been a subscriber of my channel, then you'll notice that I have videos up. They're a lot more organized, a lot more efficient. Efficient's not the right word. A lot more straightforward as far as the content. But sometimes I just want to let loose and just talk, and not have to be restrained to certain things that a regular video would be restrained to. I don't know how to explain it too well, but I always had the idea to have a podcast and just like talk, just because I like to talk. If you know me, you know I like to talk. Even though I'm a quiet person, which is kind of weird. But why are we talking about me? I want to get into the topics. So if you are tuning in, I don't know why I said that again, but if you could tell by the thumbnail, the three topics that I'm going to attempt to efficiently talk about are going to be the fights, UFC 205, Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez. Give my thoughts about that, and Doctor Strange. Why is it overrated, y'all? Because I think it's overrated. And also, there was a trailer that just dropped. I was gonna do a damn, I forgot my own videos. Will you look at that? Trailer talk. I was gonna do one of those videos on this trailer, but it was the Fullmetal Alchemist Japanese version. I didn't want to do a video on it. I just wanted to talk about it, and I just didn't. I just wasn't motivated to do a video about like a teaser. It wasn't actually a full length trailer, but it got people talking about Fullmetal Alchemist, so I wanted to talk about it, and I thought, what other better way to talk about it than this podcast? So let's start things off with UFC 205. It happened a week ago? Yeah, I'd say a week ago. Oh crap. Man, that card was stacked. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of good fights in that card. I think I should check. I don't remember. I just want to talk about the main event, honestly. As much as I want to talk about the rest of the card and the great fights, like Khabib ragdolling Michael Johnson, and what were other fights? Man, how am I forgetting this? Chris Weidman getting a knee to the freaking temple. That was insane. What other fight was there? Oh yeah, Joanna Jędrzejczyk fighting Karolina Kowalczyk. I'm pretty sure I misspelled her last name or mispronounced her last name, but I'm sure she's not gonna see this. That fight was wicked. That fight was crazy. At first I was like, Joanna's gonna just murk this chick. She's just gonna murk this girl. Like, I feel bad because she was actually lightweight cute. Like, she looked like, she was older than Joanna too, which surprised me. But Joanna did what I thought she was gonna do. What was the co-main? Oh yeah, Tyrone Woodley and Steven freaking Wonderboy Thompson. That was a crazy fight. I thought Wonderboy was just gonna pick him apart. He was a little too hesitant for my liking, and Woodley just kept backing up against the fence or cage, excuse me. I thought he was gonna get picked apart. I mean, Willie took him down, dominated him in the first round, and then hurt him in the third or fourth, one of those rounds, really bad. Like Woodley was out on his feet, like out, and I don't know how he woke back up and managed to escape a tight guillotine and then stay on top and then fight the rest of the fight. It was crazy, madness, insane. To be honest, that felt like the main event for me. I don't know why. It was just the way that the fight played out. It was just awesome. So then we get to the main event. Excuse me. And look at me running down the card. Not the entire card, but I love how I just said, like I said like a couple minutes ago, I wasn't going to do that. Before I get to the main event, I know people are probably listening to this, or if we're like, what, about to be 6 minutes in, and they're probably going like, how is this a geek related topic? Even though the podcast is supposed to be about geek stuff. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I have other interests too. One of them being MMA. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into I just want to talk about the main event. Conor McGregor fighting Eddie Alvarez. I don't know why I had to say it in that voice. Crazy fight. But I don't know. People thought that Eddie stood a chance. And look, dude, like, I'm not gonna like discredit Eddie Alvarez or say that he sucks or anything, but like, I don't know. I like one of his fights with Pettis. Pettis was teeing him up. He was landing shots. I mean, Pettis just doesn't have the same punching power as probably Conor, but man, he was hitting him with shots. He had him. He was busted up his face, and so that was one of those fights that I thought Eddie lost, and so to see him beat those as I like to call him, those nachos for the title, that was kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. It was sloppy. It was a sloppy win. I mean, he won and knocked him out, but like, people kept talking about Eddie as if he was like this monster, and I just felt like Conor was just gonna beat him like easy. Like, I felt like this wasn't even like this was a horrible matchup for Eddie. It really was, because you looked at the fight, or if you have seen the fight, and if you haven't, Eddie kept coming in. Like, he kept coming in, he kept rushing Conor, and he was hesitant, but whenever he did come in, he would leave his chin wide open. Like, it wasn't even like, if you see the replay, he got caught so plain. Like, it was just like it almost looked like he didn't want to use any head movement or anything. It was weird. I don't know, it was weird. Like, it didn't impress me as much as maybe it did to, like, it would for like a casual fan. It would be like, oh man, Conor McGregor, he's amazing, 2-weight world champion, UFC 205, New York. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty good. I thought I did pretty good there. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't shocked. No disrespect to Conor. I mean, I respect his game. The dude, he clocked him. He caught him. And he ended up knocking him down like 3 times, and then until the second round, knocking him out. So, the sky's the limit for Conor as far as business goes. But I still don't think he's proven himself fully in the octagon yet. I know I'm probably gonna get people like, what are you talking about? He knocked out Jose Aldo to win the featherweight, blah, 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 whatever. Like, dude, like, I don't know. I guess I have like this personal dislike towards McGregor, because I don't know, the dude just like is too cocky. Like, he says he'll take anyone's belts, and now Woodley's out here like saying that he would love to fight McGregor. That fight makes no sense. Or, you know what fight doesn't make any sense? McGregor Mayweather. I mean, business wise it makes sense, but like, seriously, in what universe does that fight actually like seem plausible? Like, I'm not gonna be surprised if it happens. I'm gonna be mad if it happens, because as an MMA fan, I want to see Conor fight like the best 155ers in that division, like Tony Ferguson, Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think that Russian last name though, so hard to pronounce. So yeah, I want to see Conor do that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but the main of yeah. I don't know what else I was gonna say, but yeah, that's you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think maybe McGregor is gonna fight Mayweather, and that's the next money fight. That or he moves up to 170 and fights Woodley, and leapfrogs over Wonder Boy, um, to get that shot, to get 3 belts, not just 2, folks, 3 belts. So, but that boats the question: is McGregor the greatest of all time? Like he's doing these his crazy antics. He's fought a lot of guys he claims to fight in every weight division, in every card. He says he fights all the time, and you hear him talk all the time about how he fights everyone. But the dude doesn't seem to defend his featherweight belt. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. I personally think that Conor McGregor is a great fighter, or not even great. He's a really good fighter with a good left hand, good boxing, a lot better boxing than most, because his timing is great, and his stance is very calm. It's very manipulated. It's very calculated. It's very, like he knows where he's gonna hit you. It's just a matter of you knowing where you're gonna hit, if you're gonna hit him, or if you're gonna get out of the way of his punch to then hit him. So, that's what ends up happening with a lot of his opponents, is they end up having to deal with that as opposed to imposing their own game, which you can see with some of the best, like Silva. Before guys went in there, they were just thinking, how am I gonna deal with this like elusiveness? How am I gonna deal with this guy's like crazy footwork? Or GSP is like, how am I not gonna get wrestled the whole 5 rounds? Like, so there's always that thought, and I think that's the problem with a lot of the opponents now. Is like that thought that's there. That's like, what am I gonna do? But it's like, what is he gonna do? You know what I'm saying? That's the real question. But excuse me. Ooh. Ooh. Oh man, it's cold over here in Cali, folks. We finally got that cold weather. I love it, though. I love it, even though I just sneezed twice. I love it. So yeah, Conor McGregor, 2-weight world champion, not the best yet. He needs to defend one of those belts, man. He just does. Like, I want to see that happen, because you look at his career, the way he's like propelled and got famous. It's like, it's a lot of UFC push. The company put a lot of faith in his talk and his demeanor and what he believed he could bring the company, and it paid off. They sold the Fertitta brothers, the previous owners of the UFC, sold the company for like what, $4 billion to I don't know the new owner. I'm pretty sure he has to do with WWE, or like he's the co-owner, something like that. But they sold it for a whole bunch, and Conor likes to thank himself for that. So he's a big star. A lot of people know him. But like I said, I don't know. I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's fought somebody who, or I take that back. He actually did it with Nate Diaz, who can like take a freaking punch and like and give it right back. That was a crazy fight. Talk about that. Who wants to see that trilogy? Sign me up, honestly. That's the only dumb fight that I'd rather see. Like, dumb money fight. I think that's all I want to talk about, Connor. Connor and UFC 205 and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about, but I don't know. I guess that was all I could think of right now. I'm sorry, guys. This is a horrible podcast. This is just the first episode, or yeah. So I'm not too tripping. I'm not tripping about it. It's whatever. But yeah. So next topic, Doctor Strange. So I saw Doctor Strange, and let me tell y'all, it was okay. I know a lot of people that freaking love this movie, dude. They say that this is a must-watch movie. Like, you gotta go see this movie, bro. Like, it's so dope, and it's just like, I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that feeling when I was watching it. I was just like watching it, and I was just waiting for something crazy to happen, cause I was like, dude, like, this story is, I already know where it's going before it's getting there, you know. It was one of those movies that I was watching, and I was just like, I don't know if I can forgive, like, its tropes. You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me, like, you see a lot of the reviews for this film, and like, it's freaking weird because they're like, oh yeah, the story's like simple. It's like a whatever superhero story, like a generic super. But because of the visual effects, ladies and gentlemen, because of the visual effects, and how superb they were handled, and how delightful it is to see this on screen. I'm doing my critic voice. It gets fresh. It gets a really high score, in my opinion, an overrated score. I think this movie is overrated. Do I hate it? Nah. I thought it was cool. It had enough stuff to make it be cool. But it wasn't like it was like, it's a forgettable movie, bro. Like, it's like Doctor Strange. I wanted it to be like dark, supernatural, twisted, and whatever the case, but it was just trippy. I didn't feel like, I felt like you need to watch this in 3D. That's for sure. Like, if you're gonna watch this, if you haven't seen this and you're listening to me right now, but say horrible stuff about it, and you probably like, I don't know if I want to watch it anymore. I hope that's not the case. It's always good to see a movie regardless of what someone else thinks. But anyways, so I for sure recommend seeing it in 3D. Like, if you're gonna watch it in theaters, I wholeheartedly believe that 3D is the way to go, because there's just a lot of visual stuff that I guess I didn't appreciate as much as other people did, that overtook the film for them. I don't know, like, visually, I love visuals. Like, I love Zack Snyder. Not well. I like his style, I guess, but you know, you gotta have story there. That's why Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut, there was a lot of issues there. There was a lot of plot holes. The Ultimate Edition was dope. Freaking love that movie. But going back to Doctor Strange, the point is like, the story was like, it just, I don't know. It wasn't enough to forgive. It was like, dude literally just happens to go because the first beginning of this stuff, I had an issue just from the get-go because the dude was a jerk. Like, it was this movie is pretty much House, but just with straight trippy stuff, like trippy Marvel-esque stuff. You're watching House become a sorcerer. That's really what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, the dude is too douchey for me to like him, for me to support him. But I was like, you know what, I can forgive that, because if the overall theme of the overall concept of the film, and, like, you know, the climax and the ending, the resolution, and how they deal with what's going on, and the rise to action, all that stuff, I felt like they could bring it back, and I had hopes for this film to be good, but I don't know. My biggest issue with it is, like, stuff just happens. Like, this dude really just learns how to be a sorcerer in like a couple of days. And I know people are gonna be like, no, bro, like, it was months or years, bro. you gotta understand, like, the movie's not gonna tell you, bro. And I'm like, dude, I get it, but you're watching this and it doesn't flow. Like, there's a lot of movies that I watch where you see those training sequences and it flows, and you understand that it takes years to get to where the person's headed, because you see it because because it flows. Like, this thing didn't flow. It just, stuff just happened. And I hate to, like, be like super mean about it, but it's just like true. It's like, dude, like, how's he pro? Like, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie he becomes the sorcerer supreme, but I don't feel like he is. Like, I'm just like watching this, I'm like, how like that Kanye meme, how? Because, like, dude really just happened to, like, be great. He's just like, they're just like, yeah, no, he has a great sensibility. Like, he's a great doctor. He knows how to change things on the fly, so automatically it makes sense for him to be a great sorcerer. No, it's just like, dude, what just happened? Like, what? I was watching it, I was just getting frustrated, and that's why I didn't really enjoy it. But side note, when I was watching it with my bro, and I guess behind us were some, like, I don't know, like, exactly, like, where they were from, but in the theater, there were a bunch of Asians, and I hate to say that, because I know it sounds stereotypical and stuff, or I don't want to seem like come off douchey, but I mean, I don't know what ethnicity they were, so I'm just gonna say they were Asians because they didn't speak English. And they had I'm gonna stop right there. They were Asians, and one of them just so happened to, like, turn on their freaking their phone, right? I guess this chick was FaceTiming. I don't know what was going on. This chick was FaceTiming during the film, and I was out of the film. I was trying to, like, enjoy it, but, like, this was too funny. This was almost like the funniest thing to happen during the film that wasn't in the film, that made the film enjoyable, if that makes any sense. Like, this chick really just pulled out her phone, and you just see a bright light, and then all you hear is like like Chinese or Japanese language, and I hate to, like, seem like an asshole there, but it's funny because I was like, is this girl, like, I whispered to I was like, is she FaceTiming right now? Like, what? Like, I was like, is this really just happening? Like, is she FaceTiming during the film? And then I was like, dang, she's straight flexing on him, because she's like, oh man, that was the funniest part of the movie. That wasn't part of the movie. But yeah, I mean, the film, I guess the people liked it. I mean, they started clapping at the end. Honestly, I think it didn't deserve a clap. I was like, why are these people clapping? Like, this movie was not great. Like, and this leads on to my whole, like, theory of, like, the Marvel Studios films, is like, there's a lot of forgiveness in these films. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're almost like Disney and Pixar, where it's like, if they make a mistake, it's whatever. Like, we're only going to talk about the good ones. But if, like, let's say, and I hate to use this because it's like this age-old war of DC versus Marvel, but it's like the truth right now. It's like DC puts out a decent film, and that's all they want to talk about is the negatives, because so far they have barely started out their universe. When people forget that Marvel never started out, like, full steam ahead. Like, it took a while to get their movies to be, like, good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Captain America, the first Avenger, for me, I don't know, I slept through that thing. I was like, is this dude just gonna straight throw his shield the whole time and fight Nazis? That's what's going on. I didn't really like it as much as other people. I mean, the Winter Soldier, though, turned my whole idea of Captain America around 180, because, I mean, I knew that comic book was, like, legendary in the Captain America mythos, introducing the Winter Soldier and all that stuff. So seeing it unfold and film, that was great, especially the Russo brothers. I'm a huge fan of them, Community, stand up. But yeah, I think that Marvel films are getting, like, I mean, it's like, I don't know how to say it without seeming like like as if I'm like bagging on Marvel or anything, but I felt like I heard someone. My bad. I feel like there's. All right. Whatever. I'm tripping. It's just late at night, and I remember like last night there was like some stuff moving in my room. This stuff was freaking me out. I don't know. I'm a night owl, ladies and gentlemen. What was I talking about again? Oh, what was I talking about? The Captain America, Doctor Strange, the Marvel. Oh yeah, the Marvel effect. My whole theory is like Marvel puts out um decent movies, and they end up going great with the public. And it's not that I hate Marvel. The Marvel, like, I got Marvel's out like box, like beating DC to the punch way early. But that's because I mean, like, they're farther ahead. But there's a lot of Marvel movies that I rewatched, and I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this after like a second, third watching. Like, it's gonna be a huge unpopular opinion, but like, I watched Avengers. I remember I was watching it. I was getting excited to watch it again, and I was like, "Oh, that was cool." And then I watched it a third time, and I was falling asleep, and I was like, "Oh man, is this happening?" I mean, I don't know. There was something about it. Just wasn't rewatchable because it just like felt like the same old. Whereas like great films you know, like The Departed by with like Michael Scorsese, those type of films that is like, you rewatch those movies and it's just like you find something new every single time. And with this with the Marvel movies, I don't know, for a lot of them I didn't get that, that extra. Sure, there's Easter eggs here and there, but I mean, they don't it's not as cool as probably like finding out something like within the story that was like put by the writers themselves, that you don't get to notice in the first time, because the overlaying story is so good that the underlaying story you don't even pay attention to. That's great filmmaking, in my opinion. I didn't get that with Guardians of the Galaxy the third time I watched it either. I just had like it was just a fun movie, but it wasn't rewatchable for me. I definitely don't want. I don't know. What other movie? I watched Iron Man like 3 times. It's just like, I can fall asleep to this one. Iron Man for sure got the worst movies out of the Marvel bunch. Like, for sure. Iron Man 2 was disgusting. I don't even know what that train wreck was. Like, did it even have a third act? Like, I think it just went straight to Act 2 to Act 3. I don't think there was a setting point or anything. It just introduced some dude, and I hate that movie. And then Iron Man 3, to top it all off, you got the Mandarin, one of the most badass Marvel villains you could possibly have, and you just nerf him. And it's just like, nah, we got this other Mandarin, and he's like Guy Pearce, but he turned out to be like a freaking, it was just stupid. Like, I was just like, Iron Man 3, I was watching in 3D. The 3D didn't even fix anything. It was just like, that movie was disgusting. I freaking hate that movie for the life of me. There's a lot about that movie that sucks. What other movie isn't rewatchable? Captain America Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War, though. Those are my favorites so far of the Marvel bunch. Russo brothers are knocking it out of the park. I can't wait for Infinity War. That shit about to be lit. Anyways, oh yeah, what's that movie called? What's that movie called? Obviously, it's a Marvel film. What's it called? Oh yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron. That movie was garbage. I was like frustrated that when I watched it the first time. Imagine how I felt watching it second time. It was just straight garbage. Like, once again, Marvel nerfing the villains, bro. Like, you got Ultron, one of the most baddest dudes in the Marvel like universe, and you nerf him to like Tony Stark's little bro. Like, it's just like, what? What are you doing, man? What are you doing to these villains? That's a lot of the problem I have with the Marvel movies, though. It's like the third act is like, yeah, they end up just being, okay, that's cool. Let's punch our way through this stuff. Because it's like the villains don't feel like they hold any. And like people say, oh, but they got Loki and Tom Hiddleston's acting, and that's amazing and it's great. But even Loki is like, even Loki being a great character, the Thor movies for me are forgettable. Like, I'm getting excited about Thor Ragnarok because we getting Planet Hulk son. We getting that Planet Hulk son. That wait, what? That made no sense. We getting Planet Hulk son. We getting that. That's what I love. I love Hulk, and I love Planet Hulk. So just be able to see that, I don't. It might as well just forget about Thor. Like, unless, but they might introduce Beta Ray Bill, ladies and gentlemen. And if you know who Beta Ray Bill, he's another mighty Thor character, a mighty god. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the Thor movies. I didn't watch the second one because the first one sucked. So I'm just gonna watch the third one because it got Hulk. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I don't know. Marvel's made some good movies. They haven't made amazing movies. They haven't made masterpieces. I know people are talking about Avengers as a masterpiece because it was the first thing to ever. There's a difference between doing something for the first time ever, like, and that being such a great milestone. There's a difference between a milestone and a masterpiece. Like, that film is not a masterpiece. There are a lot of plot holes in that film. I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, I don't think it's a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, for sure. So yeah, dang, I think I went on a long rant about like these Marvel movies, man. I'm passionate about this stuff. Man, I want my DC good movies, bro. Like, the only thing so far, we just got the ultimate cut. Now we get this extended edition of Suicide Squad that looks lame. I was trying to stay positive when I was watching Suicide Squad, but now that I'm farther away from it, I'm just gonna be completely honest. That was a pile of ding dong garbage. Like, the only cool thing was Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and some of Jared Leto's antics, but and Will Smith. I mean, the acting was okay. Look, I ain't got no problem with the acting, but that film was just a train wreck. I just liked it because I was like, the music go, and it's fun, but after like thinking about it, man, it was very poor. Very, very poor. Especially coming off of the Ultimate Edition Batman v Superman, which I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey man, that movie still sucks. I love that thing. I will argue that movie to the death of me. Not the theatrical version, but the Ultimate Edition version. Because, man, dude, like, it's crazy how not 3 hours, 30 minutes. Or was it 30 minutes? But it was it? I think it was 30. I had 30 or 20 something. But it was crazy how much that changed the movie. All the plot holes that literally I had a problem with in the theatrical version were fixed in the Ultimate Edition. And I mean, if you want to hear a full length review about the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, you can go to my YouTube channel and look for that. My review of the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, very good. You want to go there, like, subscribe, share, comment. Thank you. Yeah, no, I talked about it there, but yeah, I would always defend that movie. That movie was dope. I love it. So let's just move. I guess that's all I really want to talk about there. Do I hate Doctor Strange? No. So yeah, that's the moral of this long story is, do I hate Doctor Strange? No, I just didn't think it was a great film. Just gonna be honest there. You can hate all you want, but I don't think it's a great film. So lastly, but definitely not the worst of topics, is Fullmetal Alchemist. Release. It was a Japanese trailer release like a couple days ago. Yeah. Ugh, why did I make that noise, yo? Ugh. Ugh. What was that? That was disgusting. Anyways, yeah. Oh, I think I'm getting sick. Pray for me, y'all. Full Metal Alchemist, yeah, a little teaser dropped, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, especially on a podcast, is because I just wanted to talk about a little bit about the property of Full Metal Alchemist, especially because now we're getting a Japanese film, and I saw Attack on Titan. I'm not too huge on that. I mean, I was put on by one of my friends way back when. I guess when it was popping off, he was a fan of it, and he let me know what was up, but I never really checked it out. So sorry. But yeah, they did a live action of that. I heard that the CGI was disgusting, so I'm kind of apprehensive about this. I mean, the first teaser trailer, the CGI looks okay, and I mean, we didn't get full shot of Alphonse and his full body armor, but or even any shot at all of Edward and his right hand, or right arm, excuse me. But I mean, it looks cool. The only thing that bothers me and why I want to talk about it is because it looks like a fan film, and again, that's like there's nothing wrong with that at all, but it's just like I feel like Full Metal Alchemist is the property. Like if studios are looking out there for the anime or Japanese property to like go big, because I mean they tried it with Dragon Ball, and look how that turned out. But they didn't. They had no idea what Dragon Ball was all about. They were trying to make it into this sci-fi. They ruined that thing. That tore my heart apart when I saw that movie. It was disgusting. But man, if they're trying to they want to go back to that, I mean, we're gonna see how Ghost in the Shell does. But honestly, I feel like Full Metal Alchemist is the way to go. Like if I'm a studio head, I'm looking at this and I'm looking down the list of animes, mangas, Japanese properties that you want to make big, that you can make big, that you can make a franchise off of. I don't know why you haven't decided to put your chips down on Full Metal Alchemist, because if you think about it, this is a property that's like the lead characters aren't, and a lot of the characters are not Japanese. Like there's only a few Asian characters that come later on in the show that you can probably introduce in later films, but most of the cast, I mean, is like the Ishbalans. You can cast Middle Eastern, indigenous people to play those roles. That'd be awesome to see. This is a franchise that you could show diversity, like and the reason why I think it could get greenlit as well is because like Edward is white. He is. I mean, he has blonde hair. Granted, I think he has like some hazel eyes. Edward and Alphonse, they're white kids. They're the white boys, and they. Oh man, it's just I guess I'm frustrated that this hasn't been invested in the U.S. marketplace, and that studios aren't looking at this. Especially, I really, really, really cross my fingers, knock on wood, that Warner Brothers looks at that property, because I think Warner Brothers specific, that studio, I think they've already done movies like it in Harry Potter, and the reason why I make the similarity is because like Full Metal Alchemist, if you think about it, like take away everything else, it being an anime and manga, Japanese, with all that stuff, all those tropes, take that away. I mean, it literally is it literally is Harry Potter with alchemy. They even have their Philosopher's Stone. The whole like series is surrounded by that thing. So I mean, definitely don't call it Sorcerer's Stone. But it's one of those properties that I don't know why people haven't banked on it. I mean, this is one of those plausible ones that I can see, because if you look at, and I'm just gonna be straight honest. If you guys like, I consider myself a geek because like I read comic books since I was a kid, and I watched anime since I was a kid. I read manga since I was a kid. I watched animations, like the Justice League, all that stuff since I was a kid. I love all that stuff. I grew up with all of it. But, I definitely don't know that much about manga or anime or the Japanese side of things. And I know that might come to a shock to a lot of people who are like, yo, but we thought you were like a die-hard fan, and I love some of them, but there's a lot that just don't hit it well with me, that just seem corny as heck, that just don't make any sense, that just like, it's just very, I don't know, vulgar, I guess. I don't know. I'm interested in good stories, and that's why Fullmetal Alchemist, and going back to like that particular anime, is like, the story was phenomenal. It exceeds the whole genre. It's just a great story through and through. It doesn't matter if it's a manga, if it's Japanese, if it's American, if it's German, whatever the case may be. Fullmetal Alchemist is just a great story, and I want to see it get told, and I want to see it get the budget that it deserves. Because this is like I said before, like, going back to that Harry Potter analogy, this is a franchise you could do like 5-6 movies of. Because the same way that Harry Potter did it, where it's like, you have like you introduce the first movie, right, and then it's like you introduce the character, you introduce the baddies. You don't even have to introduce Father, the main villain of Fullmetal Alchemist, because he could be like Voldemort, where he doesn't like actually show up until the very end, where they have to fight him and all that stuff. But it's like a slow burn with many bosses in between in each movie that Harry Potter did so well, that I think they could just recapture that, not do the same thing, but it's like not through and through the same thing, but it's just like they're so similar that I don't understand why they haven't seen it and been like, what, this is actually something we could do. Like, this is actually something that seems plausible and legit for us to go ahead and invest in. And that's like the whole conversation I wanted to bring up, is like, this is like a property that I feel like a studio head needs to look at and say, if you want to make anime big in the US again, like these these properties, this is the one to go with. I mean, Ghost in the Shell, sure, it looks great. Scarlett Johansson looks okay, and I'm interested in that movie. But this is the one, man. This is the one that I think, I'm surprised hasn't been done yet. Because, again, going back, and I know you guys have all the right to hate me if you're anime fans and you're watching this, because I don't know that much. The only ones I know are the mainstream ones. But let's be honest, Dragon Ball didn't work, and unless you get a goofy tone, or like a director or screenwriters who actually know the stuff. Like, Dragon Ball is a comedy through and through. It's an action comedy that you can make into a great franchise, and it can be done, but you have to like give it that full budget, and you have to like, but the point is that they didn't do it right because they were trying to make it into something that it wasn't. And I don't think Dragon Ball in specific, that franchise is very difficult to translate into a U.S. market because it fits so perfectly for animation. And then you look at Naruto, and it's almost kind of the same thing. I mean, Naruto is a little bit more plausible than Dragon Ball because it's set in like, it has its own like little mythology of like ninjas. But even then, it's like, you got the ninjutsu and the the Hokage and all this stuff that it would be cool to see on screen, but is also difficult to translate. If this is me speaking as a studio head, it's difficult to put a lot of faith into that because you gotta make it, you gotta get the right people. Those are the like, also Bleach too. Bleach, yeah, it's they're one of those. There's those franchises that you need the right people in order to make it actually work, because you have to do it faithfully. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of those that just translates beautifully to cinema, I believe, me personally, because I was like, reading the manga, like there's a lot of the shots that are just beautifully drawn that just seem like to that I just wanted to like see on screen, because it just would work well, and it would make beautiful cinematography, and you can see that perfectly with the animation, and both the first anime, the original Fullmetal Alchemist, and the faithful manga adaptation Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Both animations have stellar cinematography, stellar storytelling, stellar character development, stellar underlying stories that I think could be translated well into a bigger, theatrical film that you could do. You could just do. It just fits. It just works so well. There's some stuff that sure is a little bit fantastical, but I mean, what isn't in some of these garbage? I just saw a trailer for Monster Trucks, ladies and gentlemen. If we can get a freaking monster truck movie where the trucks are actually monster trucks, like who would have ever thought that we could get that movie? Why can't we get a Fullmetal Alchemist movie? Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, which studio head just decided to be like, yeah, monster trucks are a great idea, let's just make monster truck movies? What? Monster trucks? Really? You actually gonna do it? They're like, yeah, bro. Yeah, that's perfect. Monster trucks, and then, you can bring in the kids, we can sell a lot of toys, because, yeah, that's totally what studios love to do today, is sell a lot of toys. So let's design some great monster trucks, guys. Ugh. Disgusting. It looked like a disgusting trailer. I mean, I wouldn't even take a child to see that. It looks just disgusting. Anyways, point being that, I think this is a property that if you can't tell already, I'm passionate about. I love this property. I love Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it's like the story itself, like, and if you guys haven't seen the anime, watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood if you want to, and read that manga, because man, I mean, I'm not even done reading the manga. I finished the Fullmetal Alchemist both animes, and those are just ridiculously good. Even though I know the ending, like, I'm still reading the manga to try to like grasp, because it's just so good. Like, the story's so good, and because there's so different underlying themes within it that go beyond the regular anime, beyond the regular, Japanese or cartoony, aspect of everything. It's a serious story that gets darker with every chapter, man. I mean, like, you got some deaths that happen. You have some serious propaganda that you can talk about. So, I mean, war is still relevant today. I mean, the Ishbalan War, that's something that you can relate to and go back and something that could be reflected upon in today's society. It would still hold true, especially considering how corrupt the system, how corrupt some people are within the system. That being the 7 deadly sins: greed, sloth. There's so much there that I think, I don't know why it hasn't been done before. And like going 360 back to like this Japanese version, that's my biggest problem or like issue or like fear, is that I don't know if it's gonna get the huge blockbuster effect. I don't know if it's gonna get that CGI, that beautifulness, because like the suit, it looked good. The suit looked good. Like, excuse me, I'm watching this trailer and I'm going like, this suit looks dope. Like, it looks dope, and then I see him move, like whoever the guy is that's playing Edward. I see him move, and it just looks fake. It just looks faker, and then the gloves just don't look like they fit his hands, or there's something there that's just seems off. So I don't know. It just deserves better, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And it's also funny how like people are like complaining about whitewashing, like Ghost in the Shell in particular. They're like, why is Scarlett Johansson playing an Asian character? Why can't they hire Asian character, an Asian actress to play this Asian character? Like, I'm with you, but there ain't that many famous Asian actresses. You gotta be honest. That's one of the issues here in the film industry. But that aside, Um, you got a Japanese kid playing Edward Elric, who, and he's obviously wearing a wig because there's no way he has blonde hair. And you can just tell that he's wearing it, and it just doesn't fit because you know that this is just a fan service. And there's, again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just think Fullmetal Alchemist deserves better. I really do. So that's just my take on it. And yeah, I think that's as far as I'm gonna get in this podcast. I know it started off shaky, and I know there's a lot of parts that are probably not. I'm. I guess a better way of putting it is like, man, I am gonna get sick. If I wake up tomorrow I'm sick, I'm gonna be so mad. But it is what it is. Man, I remember in high school I used to be able to take this like nothing, barely got sick. Anyways, anyways, this is the first episode of this podcast. I hope to have some guests on maybe in the next episode. I just want to open this up and fluid and just have conversations about topics that I don't normally get to just go off about. This is unfiltered, this is uncut, this is unedited. I'm just gonna slap a cover on it and you get to hear my voice for like an hour or so. And if you don't like it, man, you can still watch my other videos. It's no problem. Like, I ain't tripping. But this is just something I want to do because, I mean, like, sometimes getting behind the camera and talking in a very structured way, because, you want it to come off as entertainment. Sometimes you just want to talk and let loose and just sit down and just give your thoughts, fully. And I think that, excuse me, through this podcast I can do that. So I guess that's just the ultimate goal of this is let my thoughts out, because I have a problem with having too much thoughts. So a podcast would definitely be good to filter out some of them thoughts. So I'm happy if y'all enjoyed this podcast. It's the first episode. I know it's a rough one. If you've actually listened through all of the 50 minutes or so that it is, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And until the next episode, I don't know if I want to make this a monthly thing, weekly thing. I'm gonna do this podcast, but I mean, we'll see how it goes, depending on the time. This is definitely a lot easier to do than a video. Like I said, you gotta have it like set up and structured, and there's a lot that goes behind shooting one of those videos that you see on my beautiful channel, RevxTV. So yeah, this has been the first episode of the Geek Realm with Hose. I am Hose. I just geeked out with y'all. Thank you for geeking out with me. Even though we did talk about UFC, I didn't mean to rhyme those two words together. But now you see me, now you don't. Goodbye, TV. Fuck, I was trying to spit some rhymes there, but it didn't work out. This is why I'm not a rapper. So yeah, till the next one. Peace. Later. One love.